Pythagoras, the discipline of a structured lifestyle in pursuit of knowledge. How does one elevate the mind above the chaos of the mundane to the sublime peaks of knowledge and wisdom? Greetings to you, seeker of truth. I am known as Pythagoras, a humble student of the cosmos and a teacher of the profound discipline that leads to true understanding. Our time together will be a voyage through the disciplined life and how it opens the doors to the universe's secrets. Let us begin with the foundation of knowledge, the disciplined mind. The disciplined mind is like the anvil upon which the sword of wisdom is forged. It is not enough to simply wish to know. One must be prepared to undergo the rigors of a structured lifestyle to truly learn. Consider the harmony in the movements of celestial bodies. They follow precise paths across the sky. It is this order, this structure, that allows us to predict their positions and to understand the mechanics of the heavens. Thus, the first lesson to grasp is the importance of order in our lives. Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound lessons from the legend. The day of a scholar is much like the celestial dance. It must be structured to maximize the pursuit of knowledge. When I taught my students, our days were not left to chance. We rose with the sun, for the morning brings clarity to the mind. We studied the sciences, the arts, and the mysteries of numbers when the mind was fresh. We dedicated time to the nourishment of the body with exercise, for a sound mind requires a sound vessel. And we reflected upon the day's learning as the sun granted us its final rays, for reflection polishes the acquired knowledge. Now, I invite you to examine your own daily rhythm. Does it mirror the order of nature, or is it subject to the whims of momentary desires? As we move to the second lesson, let us delve into the discipline of silence. In silence, the whispers of higher understanding can be heard. My followers practice silence, not as a mere absence of speech, but as a form of listening, a way to allow the subtle truths of the universe to become clear. In the quiet moments of contemplation, the mind is free to explore the vastness of its own potential. It is within this stillness that the seeds of wisdom take root and flourish. How often do you embrace silence, not as an interlude between conversations, but as a sacred space for your thoughts to mature? The third lesson is the discipline of harmony, harmony within oneself, harmony with others, and harmony with the world. The study of mathematics is not simply to manipulate numbers, but to understand the principles of harmony and proportion that govern all things. The music of the spheres is not heard with the ears, but with the soul. The relationships you cultivate, the balance you maintain between your inner world and the outer, are reflective of the cosmic order. To live a life of knowledge, one must strive to be in tune with the universe, just as the strings of the lyre must be finely tuned to produce a melody that moves the soul. Consider the chords you are weaving with your actions and choices. Are they dissonant, or do they resonate with the beauty of purpose and understanding? And now, a question to ponder deeply. If the universe is governed by the law of harmony, how can we, as part of this universe, live in any way but in accordance with this law? Each of these lessons is not merely an academic exercise, but a call to a way of life that embraces the structured pursuit of knowledge. It is a pursuit that requires dedication, for the fruits of wisdom are sweetest to those who have labored hardest in its garden. We will continue this exploration further, but for now, let this be the soil in which your thoughts begin to take root, tempering the soul, the crucible of self-mastery. In the pursuit of knowledge, we must understand that the mind is not separate from the soul. Our next lesson, therefore, centers on the crucible of self-mastery. For it is in mastering oneself that one becomes a vessel capable of containing the elixir of wisdom. Self-mastery is not achieved in a single moment of triumph, but in the daily discipline of choices. It is the steadfast commitment to growth, even when the path is steep and the shadows long. The disciplined lifestyle of which we speak is not a set of chains, but rather the wings on which we soar to the heights of understanding. Consider the athlete who trains for the Olympiad. It is not merely the body that is being honed, but the will. Each morning that the athlete rises to train while the world still slumbers, every drop of sweat that is shed is a testament to the mastery of the self. How then does one forge such self-mastery? It begins with the smallest of decisions: to rise with the dawn, to choose study over idleness, to find joy in the labor of learning. These are the sparks that ignite the flame of discipline. I taught my disciples that self-mastery is found in the balance of opposites. Just as we balance the intake of food to maintain the health of the body, so too must we balance our actions and emotions to maintain the health of the soul. Excess in any form is a departure from the path of knowledge. I invite you to examine the balance in your own life. Are there areas of excess that require temperance? Are there neglected aspects that seek your attention? Moving forward, we encounter the fourth lesson: the discipline of the senses. The senses are the windows through which we perceive reality, but left unchecked, they can lead us astray. It is through disciplined observation that we discern the true nature of things. Think of the astronomer peering into the night sky. It is not enough to simply look at the stars. One must learn to see them, to understand their motion and their light. The disciplined observer sees beyond the surface, recognizing patterns and truths that escape the undisciplined gaze. How often do you truly observe the world around you? Do you see the underlying principles that manifest in the myriad forms of nature? The fifth lesson pertains to the discipline of the intellect. The mind is a garden in which the seeds of ideas are sown, but without the disciplined pursuit of knowledge, the seeds fail to germinate. The intellect must be exercised, just as the muscles of the body must be strengthened. The study of geometry, for instance, is not merely the manipulation of shapes, but an exercise in abstract thought. It is a discipline that teaches the mind to navigate the realms of the unseen, to grasp the eternal forms that Plato spoke of. Reflect upon your own intellectual pursuits. Are they sporadic, or do you approach them with the discipline of the mathematician who builds upon axioms to reach ever greater heights of understanding? In this part of our journey, we have seen that self-mastery is the forge in which the disciplined life is shaped. It is a process of tempering the soul, of honing the senses, and cultivating the intellect. As we draw this segment to a close, consider this. What is the quality of the vessel that is your being? Is it prepared to hold the wisdom you seek, or must it first be tempered by the fires of discipline? Harvesting the ethereal, rhythms of rigor in the quest for enlightenment. The seeker of truth does not wander aimlessly but follows a deliberate rhythm, a cadence that beats in time with the ancient pulse of the universe. This brings us to our third lesson, where we shall explore the rhythms of rigor that guide one through the quest for enlightenment. To cultivate a field, the farmer must adhere to the cycles of nature, sowing seeds and reaping harvests in their due season. Similarly, the seeker after knowledge must establish rhythms of study and reflection that align with the natural cycles of learning and growth. Consider the discipline of daily study. It is not a task performed in fits and starts, but a steady, rhythmic dedication to the expansion of one's own understanding. Each day builds upon the last, creating a continuum of growth that, over time, yields a rich harvest of insight. How is your own study rhythm? Is it consistent, a daily dedication to growth, or does it falter, lost to the distractions that vie for your attention? The sixth lesson is the discipline of teaching. Knowledge that is hoarded is like a seed that is never planted. It cannot grow. In teaching others, we not only solidify our own understanding, but we also plant the seeds of wisdom in fertile soil. I, Pythagoras, have taught many, and in each I have seen the spark of potential grow into a flame. Teach what you learn, share your insights, and in doing so, you will find your own wisdom deepening. Who have you taught? What knowledge have you shared? And how has the act of teaching reinforced your own path to enlightenment? As we move to the seventh lesson, we must discuss the discipline of introspection. The disciplined life is not solely focused outward on the acquisition of external knowledge. It is also an inward journey, a deep dive into the self. The path to enlightenment is paved with self-awareness. It is knowing not only the world, but knowing oneself. Only through introspection can one uncover the biases, the assumptions, and the unexamined beliefs that cloud judgment and impede understanding. Take a moment to look within. What unexplored corners of your soul remain shadowed? What truths about yourself might you be avoiding? The eighth lesson concerns the discipline of perseverance. The path of knowledge is fraught with challenges. There will be moments of doubt, of confusion, and of frustration. It is in these moments that the disciplined seeker must show their true mettle. Remember the story of Sisyphus, condemned to roll his boulder up the hill only for it to roll down each time he neared the top. Yet, it is in the unyielding effort, the relentless pursuit of pushing the boulder upward, that the true strength of character is forged. How do you face the boulders in your path? Do you persist with the disciplined resolve of Sisyphus, or do you step aside, leaving the stone to roll back down the hill? In this third segment, we have woven the tapestry of our pursuit with threads of rigorous rhythms, the sharing of knowledge, deep self-reflection, and the determination to persevere. Each of these disciplines is a strand in the cord that draws us ever upward toward the light of enlightenment. Before we part for this session, I present to you a query to meditate upon. In what ways will the rhythms of your daily discipline reflect the grandeur of the cosmos? And how will you ensure that each step you take is a step toward greater wisdom and self-realization? Ascension through the Labyrinth. The final synthesis of wisdom and will. As we embark on the final leg of our profound journey, we reach the summit of our collective aspirations. Here, we will explore how the synthesis of wisdom and will, shaped by relentless discipline, propels the seeker into the rarefied realm of enlightenment. The ninth lesson is the discipline of synthesis. All prior lessons converge at this point, where knowledge and action unify. The seeker must become an alchemist, blending experience and understanding to create something greater than the sum of its parts. Consider the great philosophers and innovators of history. It was not merely their knowledge that granted them immortality in the annals of human achievement, but their ability to synthesize that knowledge into wisdom that could be applied to the betterment of society. How will you synthesize your varied learnings into a coherent whole? How will your actions reflect the integrated wisdom of your studies, your teachings, your introspection, and your perseverance? The 10th and final lesson is the discipline of transcendence. True enlightenment is not the end of a journey, but the beginning of a new one. It is a state of being that transcends the limitations of the mundane, reaching into the realm of the extraordinary. The disciplined life does not culminate in complacency or in the mere accumulation of facts. It culminates in the transformative realization that one is part of the greater whole, a thread in the tapestry of existence, woven into the fabric of space and time. What is the nature of your transcendence? How will you use your enlightened state to influence and elevate the world around you? As we stand at the pinnacle of our exploration, we must recognize that the labyrinth of self-discovery is endless. Each turn, each passage reveals deeper truths and more profound questions. The disciplined life is one of eternal ascent, where the summit reached only reveals greater heights to be scaled. In the tradition of the ancients, let us not end our discourse with an answer but with a question, for it is in questioning that we continue to grow. How will you live the disciplined life not as a finite endeavor, but as an everlasting ascent into the labyrinth of the cosmos? Thus, we conclude our dialogue, but let it not be a conclusion, rather a commencement. May the disciplines detailed herein serve as stepping stones for your continued journey through the labyrinth of life, guiding you ever upward to the stars of your highest potential.